All right, so hi and welcome everyone to MuleSoft Mysore Meetup group. Okay, so today we have the topic ChatGPT. So it's an interesting topic. I mean, it's in trend. So okay, let me move to the next slide. So today we will be looking at this MuleSoft integration with ChatGPT. So how we can integrate MuleSoft with ChatGPT. So it's a part one. So I will be taking another meetup, which will be a part two. So before that, like there are some few announcements that I would like to make. So basically, I mean, we got the most active MuleSoft Meetup group award in the MuleSoft Community Awards. So Mysore group for India. So basically, it's the most active. Mysore group became the most active MuleSoft Meetup group. Okay, so again, and so also like we both the meetup leaders of Mysore group became ambassadors. Right. So congratulations to Giri as well. So Giri is basically not available today. Down, he has some fever, so he's not feeling well. So he was not able to join today. So let me continue. So before we move to the topic, mm, all right. So let me read out the safe harbor statement. So both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity. Okay, we are not representing our companies here, and this presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. And we do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirements. And this presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. All right. So some housekeeping that we are recording this meetup. Okay, so it will be helpful in future use case. Okay, so if you want to rewatch or do some integration, you can watch this recording. Okay, and questions you can ask at any time in the chat. Okay, mic is enabled for everyone, so feel free. Okay, to interrupt and give us feedback. So we look at that at the end of the day. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay. So there are two organizers for this meetup, right? So myself and Giri. So Giri is not available. So he's a senior technical architect at Hasdin. All know about him. All right. So we have the screen. All right. So let me introduce myself. So I'm currently as a working as a professional integration developer in Millennium, and I have close to 3 years of experience. Okay, in MuleSoft, and MuleSoft meetup leader for Mysore and a mentor. Okay, and speaker, and I write blogs on my Medium. Okay, so you can check that out. And I'm a AWS community builder as well. So that's all about me, and let's move to the today's agenda. Okay, so we'll be covering what is ChatGPT, using how we can use OpenAI ChatGPT. Okay, and so what is ChatGPT API and how we can integrate with MuleSoft. Okay, the ChatGPT. So many of us like have heard or have used already ChatGPT, but many of us haven't as well. Okay, so we will be starting from the basics. So what is basically ChatGPT? So it's it's a AI powered bot. Okay, so it's a bot like which is powered by artificial intelligence. So it is created by OpenAI organization. Okay, so it has been already there in from the past few years, but it has recently made public in November of 2022. That's from then it has been in the trend. Okay, so what is ChatGPT? It's a state of the art language natural language processing model. Okay, it is developed by OpenAI, that's I mentioned, and it's a variant of the popular GPT-3. So GPT, what GPT means, like generative pre-trained transformer. So basically ChatGPT works on a by basically training our model. Okay, which is a NLP model. It's being trained with a massive amount of data. Okay, so we train that model by ingesting large different types of data and a massive amount of data. Okay, so it learns from that information, and then it starts giving output from the input we provide. Okay, so basically it generates human like responses to the input which we provide. Okay, and it's ChatGPT has its ability to generate responses that are consistent with the context of the conversation. Okay, so when we ask the questions in some even in some random manner, it understands that context in which way we are asking and provides the response only in that way. Okay, so it has that ability. And then it's also capable of transforming, I mean, it can perform a lot many tasks. Okay, like not only we can ask questions, we can also generate like translate. Okay, language translation, it can do language translation, text summarization. Okay, we can ask a summary of a paragraph, so it can do that as well. Okay, and sentiment analysis. So unlike, what's the difference like with other models which are there? So unlike a traditional NLP models that rely on handcrafted rules, so basically Chat GPT uses neural network architecture, okay, and unsupervised learning to generate responses. So what are, I mean, there is a free version of Chat GPT, okay, and there is a plus version of Chat GPT available. Okay, so if I show you the UI of Chat GPT, so how we can access Chat GPT. So we have to go to chat.openai.com. Okay, so so it will present basically, let me open this in incognito tab. Okay, so you will land at the screen, you need to sign up for this. Okay, so you need to provide your credentials. Okay, so you can either use I mean, use the Google or your Microsoft account, and then you will land onto this page only. Okay, so it's the UI screen, basically main screen of the Chat GPT. Okay, and then from here you can just basically ask the question. So this is called prompt. So here you can ask any question. You can ask GPT to write an essay, for example. Let me ask, like, write an essay, Elon Musk. Okay, so it will basically generate using the data it has available. Okay, so which on which it has been trained. Okay, so you can see the it has generated some information for us. So we can make it like we want that summary on in only 100 words, so we can do that as well. Okay, let me stop this and like write essay Elon in 1,000 words only. So it will generate only 100 words for us. Okay, so, and also it understands the context, right? So I only wrote Elon, and it understood like which context we are talking about. Okay, so Elon Musk, and you can see that response has been generated in a very quick time. Okay, so let me come back to the slides now. So now, as I mentioned, that there is a plus version of this. Okay, so we are using a free version. Okay, so you can see there's a upgrade to plus version. Okay, so you can see that it costs $20 per month. And so what advantages do we get with this Chat GPT plus? Okay, so you can see that in the free plan what we are using, it will be available only when the demand is low. Okay, so if the demand becomes high, this this UI or the Chat GPT becomes unavailable. Okay, so again, it's a standard response speed and regular model updates we get with this. But with Chat GPT plus, we get faster response speed. Okay, so if you will generate like maybe let's say more than 1,000 words. Okay, or you do some processing. Okay, so it will take some time, maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds to write those things. Okay, but with Chat GPT plus, you it will be able to provide that response in less than 10 seconds. Okay, so these are the benefits that we get with Chat GPT plus. But why like Chat GPT plus is there? Okay, because see, it's a very CPU intensive model. Okay, so NLP, the processing it is been doing to generate this information for us, it takes a it's a CPU intensive task. Okay, so that's why they don't provide a free version. I mean, they don't provide much capability in a free plan. Okay, so again we get faster response, and it is available even when the demand is high. Okay, so many people are using it, so the the capacity goes down. Okay, so that's why they provide this plus plan for that purpose only, and it priority access to new features. For example, what these new features are, like there has been ChatGPT 4 has been released. Okay, so we are using ChatGPT 3.5 version. So ChatGPT 4 has been released, in which we get various benefits. So if you want to access that latest version, you have to be subscribed to ChatGPT Plus. So let me move to the slides and like read out this slide. Like ChatGPT Plus provides us turbo mode, okay, that we don't have in the free plan, and it's faster. Okay, so it's also provide the free version provides, access. The plus version provides access to GPT-4. Okay, so these are all the information, like training data we need. So what more capabilities we get with ChatGPT Plus, like training data. Okay, so the ChatGPT we access using the plus version, so its data has been it has been trained on a large corpus of text data. Okay, so it's been trained with a lot more massive data. Okay, so we get more information, more precise information. Okay, so sometimes if you ask ChatGPT some information, it may not be able to answer properly that. Okay, or it may go out of context as well. Okay, sometimes it happens. So with ChatGPT Plus, since it has been trained on a lot more data, it gives precise response, precise and concise. Okay, so other than that, ChatGPT Plus has a larger model size. Okay, so it has more parameters. So it can capture more complex relationship between words and concepts. So it will provide some like random data, which which makes context, which means something, but with free plan we may not be able to get a proper response, but with ChatGPT Plus we will get a proper response. Okay, and ChatGPT Plus uses more advanced training techniques such as curriculum learning and mix up. So it provides better knowledge and faster response. Okay, so that's on a high level we can say that. And so let's talk about like the version that has been recently released by ChatGPT. So what it does, like ChatGPT as 4, you can see like it defines parameters as parts of a large language model that defines its. So you can see that earlier there has been many versions of ChatGPT. So earlier we had ChatGPT 1, so it had like 117 million parameters to work with. Okay, then then ChatGPT 2 got released, which basically had been able to process with 1.5 billion parameters, and then 3 was released. Okay, and then we had recently that which we were accessing in November 2022. So it the ChatGPT got made public with the version 3.5. Okay, so it was able to process 175 billion parameters. Okay, yeah, so here we are. And so now you can see that the recently ChatGPT 4 version has been released. So basically all the massive data it has been trained on. Okay, so like ChatGPT 3.5 is a text to text model, and ChatGPT 4 is more of a text data to text model. So if we compare about like what features are we getting in now in ChatGPT 4. So if you talk about ChatGPT 3.5, okay, so let's go and see. Okay, so we are basically working on 3 point, we are accessing only the model of 3 ChatGPT 3.5. Okay, so if I ask like let's say Elon fires Twitter staff, right? So recently, like Elon fired Twitter staff, right? So it's a recent news. So if I ask this from ChatGPT, so let us give me information. Elon firing Twitter staff. Okay, so if I ask this, so you can see that ChatGPT gave the response like, I am sorry, I do not have any information Elon Musk firing Twitter staff, as I do not have access to real time news or social media updates. However, it's worth noting that. So basically, you can see that it is not able to provide that information because it has been trained on data that was available up to I guess 2021. end of the year 2021. Okay, so that's why the more recent data, the ChatGPT is not able to provide that information. Okay, so that's one of the flaws that has been there. Okay, but with ChatGPT 4, the it has been trained on a more recent data. Okay, so if you will ask this same question with ChatGPT 4, it will be able to answer that. Okay, so you may ask like, how we can access ChatGPT 4. We are able to access ChatGPT 3.5, right? So again, you for that you have to be a plus user of ChatGPT. Okay, so otherwise, there are a couple of ways more, like you have to be like you have to fill a form, so it's a like a wait list. So you provide like why you need the access for ChatGPT, and they maybe you will get access to that. Okay, so the some of the other ways you can access ChatGPT 4 is like, Bing has recently like using ChatGPT 4 in its search engine. So if you are using Bing search engine, it's you are using ChatGPT 4. Okay, so you may get response with this model. Okay, so now, like you can see, ChatGPT 4 has a longer memory than previous version. So in the way, what does this mean? Like if we are talking with like with this chatbot. Okay, so we give some information, right? We ask some question, and then if we ask the follow up question to that, so it will answer. Okay, so it will answer up to an extent only. After that, it will not be able to remember the conversation. Okay, so what we are doing. So but with uh, ChatGPT 4, it has longer memory in that case. Okay, so we will be asking follow up questions, and it will be remembering those conversations. Okay, so it will be storing that memory, that conversation. Okay, so with ChatGPT 4, we get a longer memory in that case. Okay, the more you chat with a bot powered by ChatGPT 3.5, the less likely it will be able to keep up, right? So which I mentioned, that it will not be able to follow up that after a certain point. Okay, it's as you can see, it says like 8,000 words is the capacity, but with the ChatGPT's 4 short-term memory, it is closer to 65,000 words. Okay, so you can see it's a lot more. Okay, so you can see that they are recently, I mean, they are improving the version, their capability. Okay, so with that said, like GPT 4 as another amazing capability, like it accepts images as part of a prompt. Okay, so you can see that here we are able to only enter the text only, right? But with ChatGPT 4, we will be able to provide the image as well. Okay, so so it can explain the image, what the image is about. Okay, it can process the image as well. So it can even explain that why memes are funny. So ChatGPT 4, it can process images as well. Okay, so now we have talked about like the capabilities, right? Now let's talk about the limitations. So it's a large and complex model, which makes it resource intensive to run. So that's why they haven't made it fully public. Okay, like for some of the resources, some of the resources which you want to access, it is like based on a paid version only. Okay, so it's a generative model, which means that it is not always able to provide accurate answers to specific questions. So if you are trying to use like chat gpt, maybe you are trying to embed in your application, right? So you need to understand that it may not be able to answer some of the questions which the user asks. So it may be sometimes it may not be useful to use it as a chatbot. Okay, because if you are using suppose some banking application. Okay, so if you provide some you are like the if in which cases you need to have the response all the time. Okay, proper correct response. So in that case you cannot use this, because it may not be able to answer sometimes. Okay, like all NLP models, it is limited by the quality and quantity of the data it has been trained on, right? So as you can see, like the data which was available only for ChatGPT 3.5, we can only access those information which has been trained on, like only the data which was available, which it has been trained on, like before like at the end of the year 2021. So the data after uh, at the start of the 2022, the data, it was not available to the chat gpt, so it was not able to provide that information. Okay, so again, the model is not yet able to ask clarifying questions, okay, when the user is ambiguous. So if you try to enter some random information, it is not able to ask like correct this information. Are you trying to access this information, are you trying to ask this, so it is not able to do that as well. Okay, so this is some of the limitation. Its resource intensive nature and potential for irrelevant or nonsensical responses makes it less than ideal for certain applications. So if application is very specific, so you should not use that, okay, because it can give irrelevant information. So you can see we were able to access this information. Okay, so we were able to access chat gpt. Okay, so this is the UI. That's one of the way, like, UI you are accessing, right? So now suppose you want to write uh, like access this chat gpt using API, right? So recently they have chat gpt has released API for this, for accessing this. Okay, so if we go to platform.openai.com, so this is where you can access the chat gpt, okay, API. So let me open this. So this way we'll be using to embed with our MuleSoft or maybe some other applications, right? So for this you have to sign up, right? So let me log in because I already signed up. Okay, so you will when you will sign up to the platform.openai.com, okay, so you can see that here is a option to join the GPT-4 API waitlist. Okay, so if you want to access the GPT-4, you have to sign up to this waitlist, or you can either access this using ChatGPT Plus if you have access to that, or if you have bought that. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so we are looking at the ChatGPT API. Okay, so to access this, first you need to create an API key. Okay, so you go here and open, you go to this menu, okay, and this click on this view API key. So you can see that there's a key. So when you need to click, so when you will be first landing on this page the first time, the key you need to create create a secret key. Okay, so it generates a key for you. Okay, so you can see the key has been generated. You need to copy that key because it will not be available after that point of time. Okay, so you need to save it somewhere, and you can see that the key, when the key has been created and when it has been last used. Okay, so I have the key with me. Okay, you can see the there's an organization option as well, so keep this key with you. Okay, now let's go to the API reference. So how we need to access this API? Okay, so you can see that there is a chat option, then there is a images, so we'll be looking at that. So how we need to call this API, the question comes up. Okay, so you need to access this URL. You need to go to you need to basically hit this URL and provide this body. Okay, so this is these are the all the information that these are all the parameters. Okay, so let's go to the postman. Okay, and let's hit this API. Okay, so you can see that we see the documentation. Okay, so we are using chat gpt v1 slash completion, or we can use like chat. Okay, so let's use the chat API. So you can see how we need to access this. So we are using postman as of now for hitting this URL. Okay, use this. So you can see we this is the body. So here we have model, so we are using chat gpt 3.5 turbo model. Okay, so when they will maybe release 4.0 to the public, so your model will be changed to chat gpt 3.4 4.0. Okay, so this will be changed, and the messages. Okay, so you can see that let me remove this part as of now. So it's, you can see that it's an array, and here we have a role. Okay, and then a content key. Okay, so a role, for role we have three parameters, like either system, either user, or assistant. Okay, so I'll tell you like what are these roles. Before that, let me send a sample request. Okay, so for that we are using a user role, and in the content you are you need to ask the question. Okay, so let me like write about Elon. Okay, you can see like if I send this request and hit this URL again, we have to provide a authorization, right? So we copied this key. Okay, this is the API key. So with that we need to use the bearer keyword, okay, and after that provide that API key and use the authorization key, okay, in the headers. So if I hit this URL now with this body, okay, it's post request. Okay, so you can see that we got a response. Okay, so there is an ID of this particular chat, okay, and then the object what we are using, we are using a completion object, okay. So model you can see, and there are some tokens information, so we'll talk about this as well. So you can see that in the choices, in the message and role, and the content, in the content we get the proper response, okay, what we asked. So you can see that it gave a response to us, okay. So that's, this is the way, one way how we can access the chat gpt API, okay, and I mean get the response and use for our application. So if we will be using in this MuleSoft, okay, so we'll be doing the same, like configuring the same URL in our HTTP request, okay, like host will be providing this. So you can see the host is api dot openai.com, and then this is the like so again like we need to provide a header, right, authorization. So we need to go to default headers, then edit in line and provide this authorization key and the value of and the bearer token, okay. So in this way you can access you will be providing this authorization, okay, and then after that you need to basically provide this path, okay. So we are using this chat completion, okay, endpoint. So we provide this and then we hit this URL, okay. So then we will be again, so you can get the response, you can pass the body from either you can hard code it using transform message, or you can just ask it from the user, okay, and then you can transform the message to access this key only, okay, the content. So this, if you don't want to provide this all this information, you can just access this part, okay, the content only, and then provide that to the user, okay, using the transform message, okay. That's easy, like data weave, with data weave you can access that. All right, so let's try to hit this URL, okay. So I have deployed this to cloud hub because there is some issue, okay, in my local, as I have to as I'm using a VPN, so I cannot access this URL. So I have deployed this to cloud hub. Let me check if it has been deployed. Let me close this, see the point manager. Okay, I think it's been deployed. Let me see if we send this request. So it's chat gpt API. So let me send this request. Okay, so I asked the question. You can see this is the body we need to provide, right, as just as it was, as we were providing in the postman, right, like the model, the messages and role and content, okay. It's provided similar thing in the API if we deploy to cloud hub, right. So you can see it says like, as an AI language model I don't have real time data, so I don't have the current temperature in, okay. So now I will change the question. As I mentioned, like it will not be able to provide real time information, chat gpt, okay. So it has need to ask a question. So if the question is being relevant to the data it has been trained on, it will provide the response, okay. So write a poem. So you can ask ChatGPT to write a poem or an essay, okay. So write a poem on MuleSoft funny way. So you can even like make, ask the conversation, ask the chat to be in a funny way, or I mean in whatever context you want, okay. You can say that, you can see that we got a response, okay. And so this way we are able to access the chat gpt using the chat gpt API, right. Now we either we can create a custom connector, right, to make these API with the custom connectors. We can also create a custom connector for chat gpt, right. um, we can do that, as well. But there is a connector available that has been already created by one of the persons, like, right. So this is the repository where it has been where it is available. So I will share that with you. So now we will be using this connector, okay, OpenAI connector that has been created by this person. Okay, so his name is like Dijin, okay, Wang. So we will be using his connector, okay, for our for this use case. But we can also create our own as well with the API available, right? So you can say you can make use of the API reference. All right. So before we use the connector, let me read out some of the slides. Okay. Okay, so we will talk about like what are these completions and all about the some of the keywords that we were using. Okay, all right. So you can see that the completion. So what is completion keyword? So given a prompt, okay, as I mentioned that whatever input we provide, it's a prompt. The model will return one or more predicted completions and can also return the probabilities of alternative tokens at each position. So basically, it provides like we can generate a response as well. So if I go here like with the here, you can see that I can regenerate a response. Okay, so it will kind of give me a different response. Okay, so let me go to this point. So let me ask a new question. Okay, like write a poem. Yeah, okay. So you can see that it wrote a poem. Okay, now I will stop this and say like regenerate in a different way. So you can see that the response has been generated in a different way as well. So it can do that, and that we information we can get this the probability. Okay, and then now let's talk about the model. So list and with models we can list and describe the various models available in the API. So there is a model endpoints as well available in the API reference. Okay, so if I go to API reference, you can see, yeah, so this is the models. So with this we can access the different models available, okay, in the API. So now there are these endpoints available to us. Okay, with chat we can do a chat conversation. Okay, and the model will return a chat completion response. So we can basically chat like follow up questions based on our previous conversations. We can do that with chat. Okay, and with images, if we ask like chat gpt give me a image with this context. Okay, so it can do that as well. So model is all this model is also available to generate a new image. Okay, so I think I have one API available. So I mean we have the API, right? So if I say like generate soft logo, okay, let's see if it is able to do that. Okay, we are using images generations endpoint. Okay, you can see that it provides a URL. Let's try to access this and see if so you can see that I entered n is equals to 2, so it generated two images. Okay, so we can provide that. We can ask a lot different types of different images. Okay, I don't know which kind of images it is here. It didn't understand the context, I think, right? So that's why I mean we need to, yeah, so we need to provide the proper okay, proper information, and it may not be able to generate a proper response every time. Okay, so if I write topic, okay, so with recent versions coming up, this model basically is improving day by day. Okay, with the data we are providing. So it's like a generative process. Okay, this is this image. So So you can see that it is able to generate the dog image. Okay, so if we provide a larger number, it can generate different images. Okay, so there is image API available to us as well. Okay, so now audio, there is a audio API as well. So we can learn like how to turn audio into text. Okay, so we can provide an audio, it will be able to convert that into text as well. Okay, so that these capabilities are available to us with the help of ChatGPT. Okay, with the ChatGPT API as well. So you can, if you want to do some work, I mean some functionality, embed some functionality in your application, you can use some of these APIs. Okay, for your application. And then the open API uses API keys for authentication. So we saw that, right? We were using API key, check API keys. And there is a pricing for that as well. So if you want to use it in your production use case, right, so you need to buy some subscription for that. So basically it is priced at like $0.002 per 1k tokens. Okay, so we will talk about tokens. So tokens is basically like a chunk of data. So when we provide some information, when we ask some question, it basically breaks that information into tokens. Okay, so every we can say like four characters is one token. Okay, so you have some free credits to use, so we are using some free credits. After a time we cannot like send any number of requests, so we will get some error. Okay, so limitation one. So we need to buy some subscription if you want to use it for production use case. Okay, so okay, so now let's talk about like we saw that like roles, right? We talked about like there are three roles. Okay, system, user, and assistant. So first, like we got the response in messages, right? So messages is an array of message objects where each object has a role. Okay, so let me like explain you. So the system role, as you can see, like typically a conversation is formatted with a system message first, followed by alternating user and assistant message. So suppose you want to do a conversation. Okay, so if I do the conversation normally, okay, like let's try this. Okay, like go here, this API. Let's call, was the first person land on moon. Okay, was the first person. You can see that it provided some response like Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon. Now if I ask the follow-up question like where does he live, so you see that it is not able to provide that information. Okay, like for follow-up question. So for that we need to use some different role for that. Okay, so you need to make it as a assistant. First of all, like how it works. Okay, so first you need to provide a system role. Okay, so you tell us you tell it like you are a helpful assistant. So basically you are kind of guiding the API, like which way you need to act. Okay, the behavior you are defining his behavior. Okay, after that you follow up with these questions, like you follow up, you use the role. Okay, user, then like ask your question, and then with the role assistant you can basically get a response. Okay, with a follow up you will be able to get a follow up response. Okay, so you need to use this in this way, like you first respond with the child. So if I like pass this question, okay, so you can see that it is a follow-up question, where was it played, so it will be able to provide that response. Okay, so if I pass this here, in here only. Okay, with if we talk about like UI, you can follow up these questions. Okay, here like I asked like who was the first person to land on, it was able to provide the response. Then I asked like where was he from. Okay, it was able to provide that follow up response. But with the API you need to provide these system roles properly. Okay, then only you can ask, you will be able to get a follow up response. Okay, so you can see that it was able to provide a proper response with the follow up. Okay, Now you can read about these parameters, okay, like model. Here I give the model, messages, temperature. Okay, so there are some different optional parameters that you can use as well. So these are optional, these are required ones, right? So the temperature, the top p, so you can read all about them you from the documentation. Okay, so like the max tokens and all. So I'll not be going into that. And now let's move to the like the connector one, right? So how we need to use the connector. Okay, so let me go to that github link. So what you need to do is basically either you can get clone this repository, or you can just download the zip. Okay, so let me go to the zip. Okay, so you can see after extracting the zip, you will get you will get this code. Okay, so now what you will need to do. Okay, let me open this. So this is a POM project. Okay, so now you will need to please cmd here. Okay, and you will do the ambient install. Okay, so what it will do, it will basically it, it will download to your m2 repository this connector. Okay, so I have already done that. And if I do ambient install, it will basically do download all the required dependencies, and it will create a repo in your .m2. Okay, so let me skip this because I have already done this. Now let me show you like where it downloaded these this repo. Okay, this connector. So if I go to users, if I go to m2 org. Okay, new repository. Okay, com, then MuleSoft. Okay, platform SC, OpenAI. You can see that the version 1.0.7, it's been here. Okay, the plugin has been downloaded. Okay, OpenAI plugin. Okay, so now how do we use this? So if I go to our project, we will create one fresh project. Okay, so let's call this for now test. It's downloaded in your local repo. Now if you need to use that plugin, you provide this code. Okay, like dependency code. Okay, so you include this in your POM. Okay, so if I use this in POM source, in the dependency section, you need to include this. Okay, see if downloading. Okay, now if I go to my project, okay, there is some problem. Yeah, so its version has been updated. So as you can see, I recently its version has been updated to 12. Okay, so like it has been changed only 11 hours ago, so that's why it is causing this issue. Okay, so we need to use the, I mean, we need to first again run this command. Okay, so it will update this to 1.0.12. Okay, because a new version has been released. So when you will use this basically add this dependency, so what will happen, this connector will show up here. Okay, and you will get these options. Okay, now if you want to like use the chat option. Okay, so you can just use this create chat completion and drag and drop this. Okay, in your flow. Okay, and then the configurations you need to provide here, you can see that API key you need to provide, just copy paste the key, API key. Okay, which was provided with your account. Okay, and if you click test connection, you can see the test connection successful. Okay, it's mean you are able to connect with your account. Okay, with the API. And you can see then there are the models available. So if a new model comes up, you can just always update the model. Okay, and now the payload what we need to provide. Okay, so I have the payload with me in here. Okay, like OpenAI connector. So I have, again, as I mentioned, I cannot run it here in local. I have deployed to Cloud Hub. Okay, so this is the body we need to provide, like the role. So again, role can be user, okay, assistant or system. So if I provide the role user and ask question like, can you tell me about ChatGPT. If I send this request, so this is the chat endpoint. So I have configured this chat. Okay. So straightforward. This flow is straightforward, and we are converting to JSON only. Okay. So you can see that the metadata is already there, because when we create the connector, we create this metadata. So you can see the message will contain our inside choices. We have a message, and inside message we have a content. Okay. So we will get the response in content. So if I see the response, you see, yeah, you it provided the response. Okay, so we are able to access the API, okay, the chat GPT, using the AI connector. Okay, so this connector has been already created. It's not available in exchange or like public repositories. You need to use this repo. Okay, and you need to follow the steps which I mentioned. Okay, so also, like, I created a blog already. So if you want to follow up, like, step by step process, so I have created this. Okay, like, where you need to go, how you need to do. Okay, okay, I think the image is wrong. All right, so I will update this. You can see the endpoint we need to create. Okay, and the message we need to pass. So you can just use this blog to follow up. Okay, uh, I mean, step by step process. Okay, and also use the OpenAI connector. So you can see how you need to do step by step. You need to include the dependency. All right, so I will update some of these things. Okay, it's not complete, so I'll do that. But this API one is completed. Okay, so you can follow up. You can follow these steps one by one. Okay, and you will be able to uh, receive the response, and maybe able to complete it. Okay, like as a demo. All right, so there is one of one of the issues that we get. Okay, when we clone, so you can get this issue. Okay, you may run into this issue, like HTTP repository is being blocked. Okay, so for that, like, you what you do you can do, like, to bypass that issue, you basically provide this mirror. Okay, in your settings.xml. So if I go to our settings.xml, so if you come, when you are like ambient install, when you're doing the ambient install command in here, and you get this issue, HTTP repository is being blocked, so what you will do, basically go to this maven, your maven. Okay, and then config in the settings.xml. You need to add this code. Okay, like in here. Okay. Errors, there are 2 minutes, so we'll add this one. Where is the code? Yeah, so you add this code, and the error issue will be resolved. Okay, so I'll link that in the code as well, in the in the let's say, in the blog. Okay, I will add this code as well. So you can see that this is the repository that it's been trying to access using HTTPS, but that is causing the issue. So we do that. Okay, so now you add this dependency, as I mentioned, and then now you will be able to access this connector. Okay, and you can use this different options. So you can even create, as I mentioned, like, we use the image, right, image API. So you can again, we have the connector option available as well. Like, if you want to create a image URL, okay, so you need provide the prompt, like, create a image for this, for that, etc. Okay, and you will be able to get the image URL. Or if you want the file, okay, not the URL, right, so you can use that as well. So you need to provide again a prompt. It will give you a what we'll say, yeah, so it will give a base 64 response. Okay, now to convert that into image, you can use a, to store that, you can use a write. Okay, first you need to transform that response. Okay, like, into binary. Okay, so you can use this code. Okay, I'll paste that as well in the documentation. So you'll use this code. Okay. So it's converting base 64 to binary. Okay, using the function from base 64. Okay, so with this we will be able to convert that code to binary, and then we can just write that, so we will be able to access the image. Okay, so I'm not doing that right now. Okay, so it's easy and you can do that. Okay, so I think that's all about it. If you have any questions, like, let me know. Let me see the slides if we have anything left. Okay, I think there is one. Okay, we completed the demo. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me see the questions. How is this different? Send that API link. Praveen, can you ask, like, tell me the question? Like, send that API link. Okay, you need that API. Okay, so API link, API reference. Okay, let me send that in the chat. Any real-time use case in which ChatGPT can be used with MuleSoft? So it all depends on your like thinking. Like, it can be used for like if you have application that has that can provide responses that are, as acting like a chatbot, you can use this ChatGPT. Okay, for that purpose. And yeah, add also blog link. Okay, let me provide the blog link. So, not all right. Let me see more questions if we have. How is this different from Alexa slash Google Assistant? Okay, so see, Assistant is also, I mean, it can provide a response, but this is a larger model. Okay, this is it's a uh, you can see natural language processing model, so it will be able to provide much better response because it has been trained on more data. Okay, so it will be providing response which will make more context. Okay, than these assistants. Okay, let me see more questions. Like the blog URLs in the GitHub repo link. Okay, let me share the repo link. Is okay. I think someone has shared it, or yeah, Gajanand has shared it. Okay, so that too. Any real time use case I mentioned. Yeah. So why we have to download that repo? Why is it not possible to use that connector by adding just dependency? See, if you add that dependency, it has to be available in some of your repo. Okay, so either MuleSoft public repo or your private repo. So it is not available neither of, and I mean either of there. Okay, like it's not there in your private repo. It's not in public repo. So you need to download that for that purpose. Okay, so even when you create a custom connector, right? So you need to either you put it in your private repo, right? Then only you are able to access it, right? So that is why we have to download this in that way. Okay, is the dependency not present in Maven Central? No. Yes, that's the reason. Okay. Let me know, like, if you have any questions. Okay. So if you don't like, feel free to ask any question. Like, and if you would like to become a speaker, okay, so reach out to me or to Giri, okay, or any of the MuleSoft leaders. Okay. So I mean, come out of your like comfort zone. If you hesitate to speak, like, make it your first time. Okay, so this will give you confidence. Okay, when you speak and when you try to be a speaker. Okay, it will give you confidence, and you have to take step any first time, right? So, and again, if you like this, like, you can share this with someone who uh, I mean, who needs to learn about ChatGPT. Okay, and fill the survey, and that's all about. Like, thank you for coming and attending at this end. So if you have any questions, I'm here. Okay, you can ask. I'll stop the recording.